So I'm here with Heather, and we're in the midst of a really significant conversation and a question that comes up a ton. And Heather was generous enough to say we could record this so that you guys could benefit. So Heather, do you want to ask me? You were saying, so what do I do when thoughts come up that I know aren't serving my goals? Don't let me put words in your mouth. You said.
Okay. So what I had said is, so we all know when, we get into a mood, we have certain thoughts. So one of the, a few of the thoughts, but we know are not serving us. What do I do and how, because right now I say, okay, I'm a thinker of that thought. That is not who I am. So let's say, I'm having a bad day and whatever the case be, and a thought comes in and it's like, oh, you're not good enough, or, oh, you can't do that because whatever. I know that I'm like, okay, that thought is not me, that I'm just the thinker of that thought. But how do I go elsewhere? It kind of just stops there. Where do I take that thought and move it forward where I can turn around?
So it's a great question. And we could dive into what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, so I'm in a mood, that would be something that we'd actually look at. Because we accept things, we just say, well, I'm in a mood. So What does that mean? What's going on? And then, well, I'm the thinker of that thought. Well, that's, yes, I love Buddhism and Zen Buddhism and what does it really mean? And does it mean anything to your ego? Does your ego really buy into that? Or does it just go, oh, yay, there she goes again with that kind of crap? Okay, but let's put that on the side. So if we were out somewhere and we were just chatting and I said to you, Heather, don't you feel like a failure? There are just a lot of things that you haven't accomplished.
I'd probably smack you if we were out to that. I was like, who said that to somebody?
So let that sentence in. I'm saying that to you. You're a failure. There are a lot of things that you have not succeeded at. There are a lot of things. I could name them all. I don't have to, because you know it's true. So you just smiled at me and covered this huge amount of emotion that came up,
Probably, yeah, I was going to say, you could see it. That's why I'm saying, how do I...
So wait with me, just wait with me. So don't defend against it, because that's what everybody's doing. You just beautifully demonstrated. Inside yourself, you do that same game. So a thought comes and then you go, it didn't really affect me.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit, because everything's energy. So the universe is responding to your energy, not to that, I'd probably punch you. But because that's the cover, it's not the truth. And the universe is going to respond to the truth. So you just dropped into your body. Can you feel that? You just kind of...
No, I didn't even notice that, but okay.
Just feel, you're just kind of a little more present and a little less in your head and a little more in your body, and your attention's a little more on me. You're more present. We're out and I say to you, Heather, do you know how close you are to success? You're fucking almost there. The path's there, you got a couple of steps, and do you see how you've responded already?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, if you really take in without the defense, you say to yourself some version of you're not good enough or I'm a failure many times a day in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's you forgot to do this or you don't have that, but there are these implications that you just not quite up to it. You just don't cut it, man. You felt immediately how that affected you. And you felt as soon as there was a suggestion that you're being successful, that that it's right there. Did you emotionally and physiologically experience a change?
I did when it was the second one, because it felt better. Like, so the first time you talked about like the failure or whatever, I was like, I kind of almost listed off, like I was like, okay, yeah, I probably could list off my own failures. I don't need you to tell me, kind of deal.
That's the defense, right?
Yeah.
That's the defense. That's the ego going, now, this is so important because most of us have learned to defend against either fear of failure or humiliation or shame.
Mm-hmm.
So that mask of, well, yeah, I don't need you to tell me that. I know I fucked shit up. Okay, I know. If that's under there, how can that not be reflected back to us?
Mm-hmm.
It's
and
gone.
that's, so how do I change those thoughts so that I'm not reflecting that back out?
I could give you a glib answer, but it's changing the belief. And the belief is this: I'm guilty, or I've done less than my best, or I've let myself down, but I'm guilty. I've fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That belief has to change. Because the fact is, you're not guilty. You're another human being doing your very, very, very best. You show up, you give everything you've got, you try, you would go to the ends of the earth if you thought that you would do it. You would do it for yourself, for your kids, as a friend. You have to buy into that story. And that's the risk. See, all these other things aren't the risk. That's the risk. Because if I buy into, like, I'll say, I'm brilliant at that. And I mean it. But I'm older and I've done a lot of work. And I mean it. Because I've learned there's a certain humility. I denied a lot of, when I was a teenager, I used to say, I may be ugly, but I'm smart. That was my defense, because my parents were beautiful. So I wasn't getting in that. That's it. I'm ugly.
Yeah.
There's a certain lack of humility because they're people who are born with deformities that really struggle. Like when we dismiss what we're given, it's a lack of humility. It's an arrogance. So we have to let go of that bullshit lie and risk going, really try and take in what I'm saying to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can even close your eyes and just hear this. Just see where it lands in you. So just take a deep breath, feel your body, let your shoulders relax. Everything that has happened perfectly. It's happened through divine guidance and providence to allow you to tread the path that will help you to most actualize yourself, to realize your potential, and to have the best life possible. There have not been any mistakes. There have been more painful lessons. I said to a client today, I said, it's like in South Africa, they mine for diamonds and they get the diamond in the rough. It's built through thousands of years of intense heat and pressure. Then it's mined and it's got to get cut. I'm sure some of those cuts are abrasive, harsh. They feel like they're breaking, but they're all polishing as long as we don't buy into the story that we fucked up. If we really understand that there is this love, this benevolence in the world, guiding, that adores us so much, and we have this school so that we can become the best and find authentic joy. Not, I feel good because so-and-so said I was good, or I feel good because I earned this amount. Not conditional, but to really know our value and our worth aside from anything else. When we really understand that that's the truth, there haven't been mistakes. I have perfectly showed up for the unfolding of my soul, for the revealing of my gifts to the world. And I'm in the perfect place for the next step. And I'll continue to be guided, led, protected, so that I can have the best life possible and be the most loving, joyous person I can, so that trickles down into my kids and their kids and my neighbors and the town I live in and the people like Susan somewhere in another country that I get to talk to. I'm here fulfilling that mission. See, it moves you because your soul knows the truth. Then there's no guilt. Then there may be sadness. Gee, I've been hard on myself.
I've given myself a hard time.
And that may be sad. And there may be relief when that huge pressure of guilt and shame, you're supposed to do this and you got to do it, and that's going to prove that. When we just let that drop and can be with another human being here and now, magic happens. You've shifted in, I don't know how long, 10, 15 minutes, in a completely different place. Now you get off this call and you go, okay, there's something bigger than me. Help me, guide me, help me with my thoughts, help me to choose the thoughts that are most aligned with your truth, not the story I've made up. Because my story is only this big because I made it up when I was only this big, when I was little. There's a big story and I'm part of a big picture, and I have a big part here. I have such a big part that if I don't show up for my part in the story, the world will lose something. It may never know what it lost and what the repercussions are, but it will be less. Now, can I just consider starting to talk to myself with the respect that somebody who has such a valuable, important mission to deliver to the earth, can I talk to myself like I would to that person? Because I am that person. And every time I put myself down, I make myself small, I shame myself, I blame myself, I beat myself up, I think unkind things. Every time I do that, I derail my mission. Do I really want to do that? Oh, I have a big heart, and I know it's true. I'm here to do something big. That's raw. We know that we soul contracted to do this thing. So we think that the guilt comes from the shit that we did or didn't do. That the guilt comes from not being where we think we should, having achieved, made, done. But the truth is, the guilt comes from not loving and respecting ourselves, not honoring that divinity in us. See, and that's a whole 360, 180, whatever, I don't know.
Is there anyone that doesn't cry when they talk to you? Okay.
Genuinely, no, they don't.
Yeah.
And I cry too. I often cry because it's the truth, because we're here, because I see you, and you know I do. And I don't really care about anything else, and now I will cry. I don't really care about anything else than that in you, and that being given its full glory and full opportunity to blossom and burst forth. Because you know I love you.
And you know I love you. And the work you do. And
so
clearly...
Close your eyes for me for 1 second. Just put both hands on your heart and just thank your heart. Thank you. You're such a big heart. It's amazing how much you'll feel love for that little girl when she walks in the door, or your son, or when you show up for a client, Or when you pick up your kid and she looks at you like you're her whole world, because you are. How much love she has for you. And that's just a drop in the bucket of what's in your heart. And the question is, how do I let that manifest in the world? Because all the money and all the people I'm here to serve come out of that. That is abundance. And then another day, we'll bring you, your inner child, into that equation. And that's another piece. Because she's there, that little girl's there.
Oh no, I keep a picture of her in my jelly shoes.
Oh,
Do you remember those? Oh, it is actually quite a funny picture because I'm like wearing these like big huge, I think they're my mom's big huge sunglasses like back in the days. But yeah, and I was doing like some weird dance move and stuff. Yeah.
post that picture.
Yeah.
Share.
I'll post that picture. But yeah, thank you. This has been awesome and definitely mind opening and thought opening and heart opening.
And it shifts energy. It will shift.
Apparently, tear duct opening.
And mucous membrane.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's opening up.
I wish I could give you a hug. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys if you watched. And thank you for allowing us in. Always an honor to be around you.